I am excited to go to bed at night for a couple reasons. One is I love climbing into my soft sheets and cuddling with my dog and my husband. And two is that I get to wake up in the morning and have coffee. Like I know that I get to wake up in the morning and have coffee. And so I'm really excited to go to bed at night. It's crazy, I know. And if any of you out there make a coffee essential oil, I feel like that would be the best mood booster. I would love a bottle of it. I'll buy it from you. All right. So a 2023 study found that slow metabolizers actually had increased risk of kidney dysfunction and cardiovascular events with high coffee intake, where fast metabolizers saw benefit. So that's my disclaimer. All right. If you are a slow metabolizer, then this information is not for you. And you might want to sign off or just listen with a grain of salt and know that you have a different genetic makeup and it might impact you differently. Okay. Let's jump into some of the beauty here. I got to keep my notes straight. I should write a book about this. There is a wild card here for us menopausal ladies and perimenopausal ladies. Estrogen declines in perimenopause, obviously in menopause, and caffeine sensitivity can increase because estrogen upregulates cytochrome P1A2, which is the enzyme that helps you metabolize the caffeine. And so when you're losing your estrogen, that upregulation isn't happening and you are clearing caffeine more slowly. So you might have more intense effects from coffee and caffeine. So for you peri and menopausal ladies out there, just know that that morning cup of coffee may hit a little bit harder. And this is, everything hits harder. So isn't it fun? But knowing what your dose is, think of it like an herb. Okay. I'm going to keep referencing back to that. This is herbal medicine, in my opinion. Think of your dose and your timing, and don't just listen to all the 25-year-old and 35-year-old bro science guys that are telling you to pound it, because that may not be so good for you. You can try decaf. There's a lot of benefits with decaf. And a lot of these studies, I'm not going to break every one of them down, but in many of them, they looked at regular coffee and decaffeinated coffee. Just make sure that you get the Swiss water processed decaffeinated and not I believe it's formaldehyde that they decaffeinate with. So you still get the polyphenols, the gut perks, the longevity benefits that we're going to talk about with decaf. You just don't get the caffeine. Again, some of these benefits are strictly from the caffeine, and I'll try to, let you know which is where. And then know that cold brew as a way of making coffee might be a smoother, lower acid experience for you. So it might be less sensitive or less irritating on sensitive guts and nervous systems. So that's an option there too. A 2024 study in the Journal of Nutrients suggests that light roast coffee consumption may lead to beneficial changes in body composition. So that's a winner. Specifically, a decrease in body fat and an increase in muscle mass, particularly in overweight or obese individuals. The study found that light roast coffee, which contains more polyphenols and caffeine than regular roast, resulted in slightly greater improvements in body composition. So that's cool. It was a controlled and blind crossover study. It's worth noting the micronutrient content of coffee. It contains B2, B5, manganese, potassium, and trace minerals. So it's truly herbal medicine, in my opinion. It has been shown to positively influence the gut microbiome. It shifts it, and it helps increase numbers of specific bacterium that are beneficial. So, everything we put in our mouth is information for our gut microbiome. And so we see a specific shift with the intake of coffee, including decaf, like I said. This specific bacterium thrives in the presence of coffee, even when caffeine is removed, suggesting that other compounds in the coffee, like the polyphenols, may play a role. Again, this takes us back to that herbal medicine concept. The study analysis also included more than 54,000 metagenomic samples from public sources, including healthy individuals, non-Westernized individuals, newborns and infants, ancient microbiome samples, and non-human primates and individuals with a specific disease. So it was a really interesting study. The findings revealed a strong correlation between coffee intake and gut microbiota composition across different study populations. And the gut microbiota exhibited distinct compositions in the coffee drinkers compared to the non-drinkers, with a modest effect on differentiating the level of coffee drinking. So in general, coffee showed stimulatory rather than inhibitory effects on the abundance of gut microbiome species. That's great. We want a more diverse, in the gut, we want a lot of diversity. That is correlated with better health. The strongest association of coffee intake was observed with the abundance of gram-positive bacterium, Lactinobacter Asacrolyticus. This association remained the same for both decaf and caffeinated coffee. So pretty cool and good information. There's a compound in coffee called chlorogenic acid, and it is one of the main polyphenols in coffee. Gut microorganisms metabolize it to caffeic acid, quinic acid, and several other metabolites. Gut microorganisms responsible for this biotransformation include several of the microbiota that we know in the gut. So just know that the gut microbiomes take the things that you ingest and turn them into something else, or use them, or help your body use them. And so this is why diversity is important. And then this chlorogenic acid is pretty cool. It does a bunch of cool stuff in the body. Moderate caffeine intake, 200 to 300 milligrams a day. So about 3 cups a day. I like to just roughly think of a cup of coffee as having 100 milligrams. That's a good kind of, barometer, if you will. 200 to 300 milligrams a day, so 3 cups a day, is linked to a 48% lower risk of new onset cardiometabolic multimorbidity. This was in 500,000 participants aged 37 to 73 over an 11-year period. They also found that moderate caffeine intake was linked to lower levels of low-density lipoproteins. This caffeine was from coffee and tea, so this was not just specific to coffee. This was caffeine intake. So that's pretty cool. Coffee and breakfast. There was a study that showed that coffee before breakfast gives you a larger blood sugar spike with your breakfast. Make of that what you will. I drink my coffee right when I wake up. First thing. I don't do any of this Huberman wait 90 minutes nonsense. I drink it right away. I don't know where he came up with that. I'm sure he has data surrounding it. Whatever. I literally wake up excited to drink coffee. That's like one of the main reasons I get out of bed in the morning. So I'm going to drink my coffee. I don't care. Let's see. Coffee, like I said, coffee blocks adenosine, which is a molecule that will bind and make you feel sleepy. It blocks adenosine and it enhances dopamine and acetylcholine, which improves reaction time, attention, short-term memory, cognitive vigilance. I really think of coffee as being beneficial for our cardiovascular health, for our metabolic health, and for our brain health. Those are the 3 things that I have seen the data on for years and years and years and years. And it's only getting better over time. Those are the 3 main things. I also think it is a great pre-workout. So it enhances physical performance. It literally makes you stronger. It helps you go longer. It gives you better stamina. It helps increase adrenaline. It helps increase fatty acid mobilization so you can burn the fat. It helps with motor unit recruitment. So your muscles actually do what the muscle memory, the mind muscle connection. It improves endurance, strength and power, enhance muscular contraction. It protects the liver. It protects against fatty liver, you guys, I have a whole podcast episode about that. If you have cardiometabolic dysfunction, which 94% of US adults have, you have liver issues. And this non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is what's going around, and it's super common. And I'll let you listen to the whole podcast episode, but coffee protects the liver. And I think that's really important. It decreases the risk of liver cirrhosis significantly. And it actually decreases the risk in one study of liver cancer, because if you can decrease cirrhosis, you decrease the cancer risk. This is a big deal. So booyah. It improves gut motility. We know that, right? You drink coffee and it's like pushing a button. You got to go poop. It improves gut motility. It gets things going. It keeps microbial balance in check because of that. One of the cardinal symptoms of SIBO is this like lack of peristalsis, meaning the gut motility just doesn't go. And so coffee helps with that. It stimulates bile and gastric acid secretion, which helps improve digestion overall. And it increases bifidobacteria, which is such an important microorganism. It's very specifically beneficial to human health, bifido. So again, booyah, like give me more coffee. It's rich in polyphenols and antioxidants. It is rated as the #1 source of antioxidants in the Western diet. It boosts mood, motivation, and dopamine